excited to be here.
I saw you were on American Next Top Model. Congratulations on that. It's like a really popular show.
Yeah, it actually was a show that I used to watch when I was in high school, so it was kind of a trip to be on the show.
Right. Tell me more about that.
It was an interesting experience. I think that it wasn't what I thought it would be in terms of the interactions between me and the other contestants.
How was that?
I'm a bit weird. I mean,
really?
yeah, I wear onesies. I'm kind of a geek. I'm very into like Harry Potter and all that. And I just felt like on the show there wasn't any specific person that I connected to with my awkwardness.
Oh, really?
And I feel like a lot of the girls on the show weren't used to being introduced to somebody that was as awkward and quirky as me. So it kind of caused a little bit of a rift.
Oh, really? It's surprising because it's like you have like a big social media following, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's surprising how like you went on there, you didn't really connect with everyone. That's funny because I know a lot of other people that were on that show before too, and they had that same like, are you like an introvert?
No, I'm not an introvert. I'm just very quirky, and a lot of the people that were on the show, you have to understand, I was also one of the oldest ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. I mean, I'm 28 now.
Oh, wow, you look great.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm like beef jerky in the sun.
No, really? Well, I was going to say way younger.
No, so I feel like because of that, you know, there was also like the age gap, and you know, they probably were exposed to social media before I was, and like having to hold up this presence of being more put together, whereas I was like wearing a onesie and cracking jokes.
It's crazy. I wouldn't assume that. So the whole podcast is really about like anti-bullying and self-love. And my first question was going to be, what does self-love mean to you? Like when you think of that, and do you think it's important, or just what do you think of that when you think of self-love?
I think owning who you are as a person. I would say that it, up until 2 years ago, I don't think I really owned who I was and owned my personality. And
like, what do you mean? Like how? Like, what do you mean? Like owned it?
Like accepted the fact that it's okay that I'm quirky, and it's okay to be perceived as a geek or a nerd, and just be like, yeah, this is who I am, and I don't really care about trying to mold myself to make other people feel comfortable, because if you're not comfortable around me, you have the option to not be around me.
Right, that's an awesome way of feeling. What do you mean by like quirky? Like, like go in on that more. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm kind of like, I don't know why I'm understanding. Educate me on that. Like,
I'm pretty goofy. Like, I make a lot of jokes. I will, you know, dance. I don't know how to dance very well, as you could see from the show if you watched it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
that's why I was excited to have you.
Yeah, and so you know, I'm like, I'll dance in grocery store aisles or like make puns about like the labels and just.
Do you think that like throws people off sometimes? Like makes people like? Do you think some people take it in the wrong way?
I think some people are uncomfortable with people who are okay with being looked at for their personality. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that, I think a lot of that comes from like being confident in who you are, and that is what self-love is. It means like,
of course,
you have that confidence where it's like, this is who I am, and this is how I'm going to be, they're going to like me or not. That's actually like an awesome way of being. I don't even think it's like that quirky. I think it's just like your strong personality, and it's like, some people are either going to like that or some people aren't.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's better to be like that than to be like so worried about what you're going to say and what you're going to do. Because I was like that for many years.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't making the right friendships, and the ones I was making, it was like.
It's almost like you didn't connect with people properly because you didn't share the same common interests and personality traits, right?
Exactly. So it's like, in a way, I think being quirky is an awesome thing. If that's what that means, then I'm like that. Like, I feel like I got like that once I started achieving a certain amount of success in what I was doing, and then it was like, wait, I'm gonna be me. Yeah. And then I found the right, like, you met my girlfriend Christina, and it's like I finally met her in like this year, and it was like when I finally was like, yeah, and we're like, Yeah, right. And it was like I met her once I started like being confident in who I was, and like when we started dating, I was like, this is who I am, and we fell in love, and it was like, wow. So I guess I'm quirky too, because it was like forever I tried so hard to be someone and do all these things that I thought the people were gonna like around me, and it was never working. It was like, and if it was like I just wasn't making the right connections. So I guess I'm like that too. But it works. I don't know. I think me being quirky was like the best thing because like seeing like sisters have kids and they'll come over and I'm just like messing with them. Like, hey, and it's like whoa. So it's like I don't know. I think
people don't need to be reserved all the time.
exactly.
You know, like
we're both like that
too. You can still be successful and own who you are.
Exactly.
And I feel like people think that when you reach a certain level of success, you have to tone it down or be more reserved. But the truth is, like, you should do the opposite. Enhance what you already have.
That's what I was saying. Like when you were saying all that, I'm like wondering what does that even mean. So I guess I'm like the most quirkiest person.
I'm quirky too.
Yeah, because it's like this is who I am. It's like, but it's also worked against me too. Like you were saying on the show, where it's like some people just don't like that, and it's like that's on them. I think because you got to be you. Because at the end of the day, you're just being who you are. Then you're gonna draw the people that matter to you, right?
Yeah.
Because what's the point of just like trying to fit a mold because you're never going to find the right group of people? Like,
no, not if you try to fit yourself into a shape that you're not.
You know what's funny? Social media like paints such a crazy picture. Like I thought you were like way more different than you are.
Everybody says that.
Right?
Yeah, like, I don't post smiling photos. I look kind of stone cold.
Exactly. No, but so that's why when you were like, oh, they didn't like me because I was quirky. I'm like, wait, but that it doesn't. So it's funny how that goes because that's completely the opposite. I thought you were. I thought you were. Yeah, be like that. Like stone cold.
Very serious.
Like
show this interview.
Exactly. So I was like, at first I didn't understand what you were saying when you were like, oh, before you like, wait, but that's not. So it's funny how that is. What brought you to LA? Have you been living out here for a long time?
I've been out here for like 6 years. I came out here to model, and you know, it never really. It was hit or miss. I never really scored anything big. I think it's because, you know, I'm older. When I came to LA, it wasn't as accepting. Every agency that I had was like, straighten your hair. So I never wore my hair curly up until like this year.
Oh, really?
I had to accept the fact that my hair was like this because I got teased when I was in school when I was a little kid about it. And then, you know, having agencies and people say like, oh, can you go to the casting with your hair straight? It made me feel like it wasn't accepted to have like this type of hair.
Right.
So yeah, I've been in LA for a while and I came here to model and it never really worked out, and then I kind of fell into music and I found a passion that works for me.
Oh, that's awesome. What kind of music? I didn't like really look into that.
Oh yeah.
It's
modern jazz, contemporary R&B.
Really?
Yeah.
Where can I like listen to some of your stuff?
I only have one thing out on Spotify right now. I'm writing and recording currently, so I'll have some things soon.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny you're saying about the whole modeling thing because I was watching this thing on Netflix last night that was about like people from like Tokyo and other agencies going to the Ukraine.
Oh my god, I think I know. Is it iModel or something?
I think it was just this show on Netflix and this guy was just like he went to I don't know if it was Ukraine. I don't want to like say completely wrong, but I was watching
Russia or something?
Yeah, I was watching. No, it was I think it was in Russia.
Yeah.
Well, what's the town in Russia that's like really famous? It's not Ukraine, is it?
No, Ukraine's a different country.
What is it? It was. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, and how they went there and they would like scout these girls.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
I've seen it, and then they bring them to Asia, right?
Right. Yeah. How is that? What's that? Is it? How's that whole thing? What's your whole like?
My perception.
Yeah.
If anyone was ever going to ask me, how do you model or what do I do to be a model, I would just say don't.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I don't want to interrupt you on this, but I watched it with my girlfriend Christina. We just watched it last night, and she was also like, "Oh my god, these girls! Like, this is like." She was just getting upset because it's like these like I don't want to like trash the whole thing, but it was like these older guys who are just like being like creepy and like the guys want like 13-year-old girls, and it's like
they want prepubescent looking bodies.
Right. It's kind of like I don't know whether are these like girls even being taken care of the right way? Like, are they just like getting bullied?
I don't want to say too much stuff
Right.
on the modeling industry,
Yeah.
but I mean, my experience has always been hit or miss. When I went to agencies in LA, like I was turned down by almost every agency 2 or 3 times. You name an agency, I've been in that door. And the idea that they have in their head of what is beautiful is so misconstrued. And people say, oh, it's changing. It's not changing. They're taking a model with a specific thing, they're putting them in the spotlight, and then behind the scenes, everything's still going on just as it was back in the 90s. Maybe not as bad, but it's still the same. And a lot of these girls that come over from different countries, they come over from poor countries who come from nothing. So this is like their big break, their big dream, and they're willing to do anything that they can to sacrifice.
Exactly.
And a lot of them, they send money back to their families, and it's they're not taken care of the way that they should.
I know. I was thinking like they're definitely being exploited in like a way that's like. And then, like, I know they were, like, on a train talking to one of the scouts, and she's like, yeah, they make, like, this, but it's, like, is there, like, how are those contracts written up? Are they, like, shady? Are they even getting, like...
I mean, I've never really been overseas to model, so I don't know how the overseas situation works. I've had instances where I haven't been paid for jobs, but there are good people in the industry.
Right.
It's just the seedy ones are still there as well. So it's a hit or miss with whatever agency you get, whatever agent you get, and then all the things that with the photographers and.
What were the things that you enjoyed about it during the years you were doing it?
I absolutely love it for the creative aspect. I love being able to just, I don't know, take a character or take a vision or a set and bring it to life.
Right.
The colors, the clothing, everything. I love editorials for that reason because it's creating a whole world. But, I mean, other than that, I don't really.
What were the things that you didn't like about it?
I mean, to this day, I don't like the fact that me right now at a size 2'4", is considered thick or average.
Yeah.
And I've had people say, oh, well, the issue is like you have a high fashion face with a commercial sized body, and it's like, no, I'm just a normal person who wants to eat food.
Right.
That's
funny how that is. What would be your advice to like younger girls who are trying to get into this? Like, what would be like something you would tell you 10 years ago?
Modeling is a great gateway for many, many things, but use it as a platform. Don't put all your eggs in this basket. Make sure that you use it to your advantage to get to whatever level you want to get, whether it's creative writing or funding yourself through college or getting into acting or music, whatever creative source you want to come from this. But I've known a lot of models who have continued to model, and then they hit this age and then they're like, oh, work is slow now, what do I do now?
Right.
Because they don't have a backup plan,
So you're saying like as they're doing it, figure out how you can do other things?
Yeah, just always have a backup plan. Modeling is a great platform, but it's not a career choice.
Right. That's crazy that you said that. I know a lot of listeners like want to be models and all that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's funny how you said that.
Commercial modeling is great because they don't, it's less strict on what you need to look like, and you get paid more. So if you can do commercial modeling, do it.
Wow, that's great. Where did you go to high school?
I went to Aragon High School.
Where's that at?
San Mateo.
Oh, you grew up in the Bay?
Yeah, I grew up.
Okay, how was high school for you? Did you have like what clique were you in?
Okay, so I was actually bullied pretty bad in junior high and high school. I had to switch schools. I went to Cappuccino High School, I know, right, for my freshman year, and then I transferred to Aragon. But the kids from 8th grade, 7th grade followed me into my freshman year at Cappuccino, so the bullying kind of just continued. which is why I had to transfer.
Wait, you had to do all that?
Yeah, I had to transfer because it was pretty bad.
Damn, that's crazy. Like, my whole experience was like I was just taking it. I do wish if I went back, I would have transferred. It would have made. Did it make it easier? You think?
Oh yeah, it made it a lot easier.
Were your parents like you told your parents and they're like just transfer? Is
My
that how?
school brought up the idea of transferring.
Because
it was
just
their
like
decision.
it got so annoying, like the bullying and stuff.
Yeah, because I was hanging around the office and the teachers more than I was anything else. And
wait, what were they bullying you for? Like
the way that I looked.
Really?
Yeah, kids were really mean.
This is so funny that you're saying that. I can't even believe it.
Because I modeled.
No, no, just like it's funny that because that's just like if you think about it, that's like really intense. Like you have to go change schools. Well, I'm looking back on it and I'm thinking the way it was happening with me, I wish I was strong enough or like had enough confidence to say, hey, this is happening because I'm going to switch schools too. So in a way, I think that's actually a really smart thing to do.
I don't know if it's hard to like think back that far, but I don't know if I necessarily wanted to switch schools.
Really?
I did and I didn't.
Because all your other friends were there?
I really didn't have friends in high school.
Really?
I had like maybe a couple here and there at Aragon, but no, I ate lunch by myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really have a lot of friends in high school.
Really?
I was like the quiet, angry, geeky one.
That's funny that you're saying that. Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel so naive. Like, but why? You're a pretty model. How could you not have friends? But it's such a stereotype that's annoying, right?
Yeah, my freshman year, I used to sit in the front, and kids used to pass up their pencils and be like, "Can you sharpen my pencil for me with your nose?" Because my nose was pointed. I used to get people used to call me Pinocchio and Michael Jackson and all this stuff and.
Wait, this is like really intense. I would never. I feel so naive. I'm like stupid. Like, but you're like hella pretty. You're a model. Boy, that could never. But wow, that's funny. How what's funny? I had another model on. Her name was Kelly. She did the whole like Fiji girl. She was the Fiji girl. Did you ever see that? She had the same thing too, where it was and it was just like I feel like you. Like coincides with her story so much, which is like, well, because she had the same little thing that was going on. It's like, you and I did the same thing, but why? But you're so pretty, and it's like, but it's funny how that is. Do you think like you blossomed earlier or later, or?
Oh no, I think I looked like a foot in high school.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I looked like a foot.
Really?
I think I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. I had a really weird home life situation, which I think transferred over into my school experience and was exhibited through my behavior. But yeah, I really didn't know. I didn't have any guidance on aesthetically what I should have been doing. So yes, I did look like a foot.
Oh, do you have any pictures?
I think I have some.
You gotta show me what's out there. I want to see that. It's hella funny that when was the moment that you went from that and then you changed and you like started getting the whole modeling thing? Like, how did that even happen?
I mean, I kind of had to figure my life out. I don't think I've ever talked about this, but I actually never graduated from high school because of situations going on. So, but hey, you can achieve success without graduating.
Definitely. How did the whole thing go? Like when you went from like kind of like where you're not like talking to everyone at school and you're kind of like doing your own thing to like breaking. Did you get like some photographer like, hey, do you want to start modeling? How did that whole transition go?
I mean, fast forward through the rough times, I guess when I was about 20 years old, I got scouted and signed with an agency, but it's San Francisco, it was slow, there weren't a lot of companies up there, I never did anything that big up there, and then I moved to LA when I was 22, 23. Yeah.
Crazy. During that whole time when you were like kind of like the high school age where you were kind of like feeling like you were getting bullied, what would be some advice like, or do you think that the school administration or the schools could have handled it in a way that would be better? is there any way that they kind of went about it that you wish would have been different? Like
Yeah.
advice to today's people?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I feel like, I don't know how the school system is now. I feel like because of social media and everything, it's a bit more like open-minded. But when I was in school, I would say that, you know, if teachers or somebody sees something that's going on that shouldn't be happening, always step in. I always felt like a lot of the times they were kind of beelined into their own world, and if they saw something like teasing, they just wouldn't say anything.
Really? No, that's funny that you said that because that would happen to me a lot too.
It's like they don't want to get involved because they're like, oh, well, I have to teach the next class. And
Right.
It's like, but.
Like engaging more when
Definitely
they see it.
engaging.
Right. That was happening to me a lot. I feel like maybe the teachers are like, I don't know, I've heard that they're always like, oh, we're underpaid or something like that.
Oh, they're definitely underpaid, but that doesn't mean that you have to take that out on the students.
Right.
Like, I mean, you know, there's a difference between a teacher saying, can you please stop, to the kids making fun of the other kid, because that's not going to do anything. What you should be doing is you should be saying, like, maybe going through an entire section on bullying and getting everybody in the class to kind of open up about how they feel and issues and whatnot, so that people come to an understanding.
Definitely. Wow, that is awesome. What got you to like to the point where you went from that stage to, you know, just like breaking out of your shell for like, so like we have so I do these like anti-bullying assemblies at school.
Yeah.
And a lot of like the kids after we have like a Q&A, and then after they talk to us and they ask us questions. So a lot of it has to do with like breaking out of your shell and stuff. What would be your advice to like kids who are going through that, the same stuff you're going through?
I think my advice would just always remember that the people, whatever happens in high school doesn't matter once you're out of high school.
I know, everyone always says that, like all my guests, and I was thinking, because at the moment when that was happening to me, I thought it was like, this is it, like, I'm never going to do nothing with my life either because I'm getting bullied, so that is really one of those things.
And I think it's important for, I mean, this is what I used to say to, there's a bug that just landed on my face. It's like, oh my god, Courtney, I want to be in the interview too. Oh my god. Is it still on my cheek? No?
I
Okay.
saw it though. I was like,
imagine if it had flown into my mouth.
No, I saw that. I was like,
Courtney. But I think what I used to tell myself in the modeling industry is that whenever anybody says anything negative about you or has an opinion, just use it to fuel your fire to prove them wrong. Because the best thing that you can do as revenge is to show success or show strength.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or even like if you do react to something as far as bullying, being able to react with, you know, intelligence and a calm demeanor is always going to have more of an effect than cussing the kid out.
Oh, Rose. What did you learn when you moved out to LA and like the way it moves out here in the whole modeling world? Because I have a lot of people that listen that all want to get into like all these things, so it's like, since I feel like you've been through it, you even got on America's Next Top Model, you did the whole thing, so it's like your advice is like really awesome.
I think in LA,
because I know a lot of like younger like girls move out here too, don't they?
Yeah, to pursue things, which is
exactly.
great, but I find that a lot of people also lose who they are in LA very quickly.
Like how? Like
they fall into the Los Angeles trap of dimming their light and who they are, whether it's their personality traits or the way that they dress, because they're worried about being looked at differently or, you know, being talked about. And I think it's important to remember that 90% of the people in LA are just so worried about what everybody else thinks that it doesn't matter.
How did you get to that level of like confidence and like self-esteem?
I got tired of trying to play it off.
Like you just got to a point where you're just like, enough of this?
I guess. I think I'd rather be myself, and you know, people are always going to open up more if you act like yourself than if you try to blend in just like they're doing.
Right. Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years from now? Are you gonna like pursue the artist and music?
Yeah, I think so. Music is the first thing that I've ever done where it doesn't feel like work.
Where do you see it? Where, in your vision, where do you want it to be in 5 years?
I want to be an influential artist that tours and people listen to my music to feel emotion and relate to my lyrics. I think that's really important as an artist to have people be able to relate to what you're saying.
What are some of the things you're touching on in your music?
I guess heartbreak, but also mental illness, depression, things like that. A lot of my music stems from depression.
Oh, really? Have you gone through like depression and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, it is.
How
what
did
it
you
is.
get through some of those moments? Would you want to share that? Like, how did
Therapy?
really?
Oh yeah,
How was his therapy help?
absolutely. And I don't think that I don't think there should be a stigma with it because it really does help, and there's nothing wrong with saying I go to therapy because it's healthy, you know.
It's funny you say. I know a lot of people that started going to therapy too, and it's like really helped them. And I don't really think there's anything wrong with that either. How has it helped you in like what ways?
It helps me decode my emotions in a way that I couldn't do before, and it helps me realize what is worth putting my energy into and what is not as far as emotions go. Because when we feel emotion, we overload with so many ones that it's hard to sift through and understand what the root of what we're feeling is.
Right. Wow, that's crazy. So as this podcast is coming to an end, my last question is always going to be like, anyone that's listening, and hopefully when we post it, if you share it, I know you have a lot of followers. What would be your advice to anyone that's going through depression, or they're in school, or they're having a hard time, they feel like isolated and alone?
Put your negative emotions into something creative, and if you feel alone, just remember that there are millions of people feeling the exact way that you do, just not everybody's talking about it. And that no matter what you see on social media, there is somebody that you look up to that also feels exactly as you feel when you're at your lowest.
It was awesome. Well, man, it was awesome having you on.
Thank
I
you.
feel like I got a lot out of this. I really had no idea. It's like you can't judge so what I really got is you can't judge a book by its cover. And
No.
it was awesome having you on.
Thank you
for
so
coming.
much.